Dear friends, I was thinking of making a series of video lectures on English grammar, and in this series today I'm going to discuss with you a very basic concept. It is about helping verbs and main verbs. As you know, we have done this at high school and at intermediate level, and particularly at class 5 or class 6 this concept is dealt with, and it is a very basic concept but very useful. Particularly Indian students have some confusion regarding this helping verb because in one native language we don't use helping verbs the way we use it in English, and that's the reason why probably sometimes Indian students get a little confused about the uses of helping verbs and main verbs. Now, though we have these two categories, there are several other categories of verbs. Today we are going to discuss only helping verbs and main verbs. Generally, these two are not very watertight compartments because some verbs which are used as helping verbs are also used as main verbs. For example, you can take be verb. I say sometimes to our students, be ready. So in this sentence, when you say be ready, be is the main verb because there is no other verb attached to it. So the thumb rule is that when a sentence has got only one verb and that is the only verb talking about the action, then that must be the main verb. There is no second thought about it. When there are two verbs or more than two verbs, or let us say more than one verb, then definitely the last verb is the main verb and the preceding verbs will be helping verbs. Now, we are talking about helping verbs and main verbs when the verb is finite. I'm going to talk about finite and non-finite verbs in some other lesson. When we talk about finite verbs are those verbs which talk about action with time, that is tense. It makes tense. So non-finite are actually verbs that generally do not talk about tense that way. So when we put action in time, it is tense, and to express any action we need a verb. Now when we say something and we can say that using only one verb, then definitely there is no need of using any helping verb. So for example, he came here yesterday. So to say this, I don't have to use a helping verb because simple past is pretty simple. It needs only verb 2, that is simple past tense. So I can simply say he came here yesterday. But I need a helping verb when I have to make this sentence negative. For example, when I have to make this sentence negative, I cannot make it negative by simply using a not. For example, I cannot say he came not here yesterday. I have to say he did not come here yesterday. So let us say the negative of came is did not come. So let us think about this particular verb group, did not come. In this, come is the main verb and did, which comes before not, is the helping verb. Again, the way we use a helping verb to make a sentence negative, the same way we need a helping verb to make a sentence a question. The question sentences are also known as interrogative sentences. Now, to make a sentence interrogative or to make a sentence a question, we need to use a helping verb. So how to do that? For example, did he come yesterday? I can ask, did he come yesterday? So here again, the helping verb did goes before the subject and the main verb remains after the subject, did he come. So come is the main verb, did, that is the first word of the sentence, is the helping verb. Did he come yesterday? So we have seen two uses. The first one is about making a sentence negative by using a helping verb. Then the second one, in this we have seen how to use a helping verb to make a sentence question. The third use of a helping verb is to make a sentence passive. That means to turn a sentence from active to passive, we need to use a helping verb. Sometimes we need one, sometimes we need two, sometimes we need more than two helping verbs. We are not going to go into details regarding passive voice. We are going to deal with passive voice in another lesson. Let us take one sentence. He said that to me. He said that to me. To make it passive, I have to say that was said to me. That was said to me, or I was told by him. So that was said to me. That was said to me. So here was is the helping verb, said is the main verb. So to make a sentence passive, we need helping verbs as well. So I have shown you the basic thing to remember is that the main verb is always the last item of a verb group, whereas the helping verbs are all those verbs in the verb group preceding the main verb. So let us remember it that way. So how many helping verbs can there be? So to remember it very easily, we can think that there are three verbs: be, have, and do. These are the verbs which are used in all their forms. As you know, be verb has got 8 forms: be, am, is, are. These are used in simple present tense. Was, were, these two are used in simple past tense. And been and being, these are used in passive voice, and they have some other uses as well. So these 8 helping verbs, these 8 verbs, 8 verb forms of be verb, then have, has, had, and having, these 4 verb forms of have. Then we have do, did, does. These are from the do verb. We have 10 modal verbs: will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, and ought to. These 10 modal verbs. And there is a special expression, had better. And we have 2 semi-models, need and there. So it comes to 27. These 27 helping verbs are very commonly used in English. So out of these, I said that need and there, these are semi-models. These are semi-models because now I have used the word model, that we are going to discuss modal verbs in a separate video lesson. So modal verbs are those verbs which are used to give some color to the verb, to give some mood to the verb, and we can use not immediately after a modal verb. For example, I can say I will not, I shall not. This way I can say, whereas in case of other verbs I cannot do that. For example, I write, I cannot say I write not, I have to say I do not write. Anyway, all these are also known as, these 27 helping verbs are also known as auxiliary verbs. And this need and there, these are semi-models because they are also used as main verb. For example, he needs some rest now. So here in this sentence, needs is a main verb. But when you say, I need not go there, so in this sentence, it is a helping verb because generally we do not use need not in case of main verb. We have to say don't need. So when we say don't need, then it will be need will be the main verb and don't will be the helping verb. But when you say need not, then definitely need is the modal. So need is known as a semi-modal. Semi means half, so it is half a modal, and it also can be used as a main verb. The same is the case with dare. When you say he dares to do this, here it is a main verb. And when you say you dare not touch my project, you dare not touch this paper, so in this case it is a helping verb. And as you know, in case of all modal verbs, to make the modal verbs negative, we simply use a not after the modal verb. The same is the case with semimodels. I also told you about an expression at the end, that is had better. So when you say you had better go now, it only means that it will be better for you to leave this place now. So again, after had better, we simply use the root form of the verb, that is V1. You had better go now. You had better write the letter. So when you use the root form of the verb, definitely it's a helping verb again, and the root form is the main verb. So we have seen how to use the helping verbs, and main verbs are always used at the end. So to sum up, I can only tell you one thing, that helping verbs are basically used for three purposes. The first one is to make a sentence negative. The second one to make a sentence question, to make a sentence interrogatory, and the third one is to turn an active voice sentence into passive. These are the three basic uses. I will in my next lesson I'm going to discuss some more uses of verbs. Thank you.